Hi boys and girls, my name's Miss Allison, and today we will be doing an under the sea art project. We'll be using a variety of materials. We've got our blue construction paper, a half sheet of white watercolor paper, watercolors, oil pastels, we've got scissors, and we can use googly eyes. If you don't have googly eyes, that's not a problem. And we'll have a brad as well. If you don't have a brad, we'll use glue. So we're going to start by making our fish. You'll draw a line. I'm gonna use my pencil and press really hard so you can see. So I'm gonna have a dark line, but you can just draw lightly. It's just a guideline. So you'll go about in the middle, and doesn't have to be perfectly straight. I used a ruler on this line, but you'll just freehand it, so it's okay if it's a little wiggly. So you're gonna go across. See, mine's wiggly now that I'm going over it. Now we're going to do the body of our fish. Actually, we're gonna come in, so we're gonna have our body, and we need to make sure we leave room for our tail. So you're gonna come in right about here, it doesn't have to be exact, and we're gonna do a little dot. So now you know when you do your rainbow arc, you're gonna end right at that dot. So we're gonna start, do your rainbow. I've got a little wiggly rainbow there. Right about there. And now our tail. We're gonna come up a little bit, do a line out. We're gonna come down, do the same thing on the other side. Line out. And now we're gonna connect these two lines with a kind of a fan shape. So a little curve like that. There's our fish. Now we can go ahead and erase that line. That was just our guideline. Doesn't have to be perfectly erased, just as best as you can. Now we'll take our scissors and cut out our fish. One thing that's very important, when you cut out your arc, you don't want to go all the way to this line, that little dot that we made. You want to stop right here, because we don't want to separate our body from our tail. So I'll show you what I mean right now. And it's okay if it's not perfect. You don't have to stay right on the line. It's just a guideline. Your fish will look different than mine because you're the artist. Come up here. Notice how I stopped right there. I didn't go all the way. Okay, then we'll come down to this line. All right, there's our little fish. Okay, now we'll move on to the oil pastels. And we'll go ahead, I'm gonna choose yellow and start make a pattern. So I'm gonna go right about here. Go over the line a few times, make it nice and thick. And with oil pastels, you want to press hard. Sometimes they even break, and that's okay. But we want to press nice and hard to get that beautiful, vibrant yellow. Okay, now I think I'll do one right here, another curve. And fish come in all shapes and sizes and colors. So if you don't have a yellow or you want to use another color, you're the artist, that's up to you. Okay, now I think I'll do one more. All right, there we go. Okay, now I'm gonna take blue and outline those yellow curves. And you'll notice if your blue pastel touches the yellow, you can see some green, because blue and yellow make the color green. That's what I love about oil pastels. The colors blend so nicely. Remember to press hard. Okay, one more. Okay, now I'm going to take a gray and make some scales. So the scales will be just kind of little curves. You can use a different color if you want to. All right, now we'll do some scales right there. Just lots of little curves. And then I think here I'll have room for 2 rows of scales. All right, now for our tail, for our fan-shaped tail, I'm going to do lines like this. You can have as many as you want, and don't worry if they're not perfectly straight. One more thing before we switch over to our watercolors. We've got a happy little fish here, so he needs a smile. All right, now we're going to use our watercolors, and the last thing we'll give him an eyeball, the very last thing. All right, so I'm gonna wet your brush and dip it in the orange watercolor. Kind of just twirl it around gently. And we'll start, let's see, I'll just start right here. And you'll notice you can still see your beautiful designs that you made with your oil pastel when the watercolor goes on top, because oil and water do not mix. Then we're going to add some other color for the tail. Okay, a little more orange. And let's see, now we're going to rinse out our brush, and I'm going to use some purple. The purple here looks black, but you'll see once it gets on the paper, it's purple. So you can see your lines. All right, now for that last little middle part, let's do some red. And you'll notice when the watercolors touch each other, when the colors touch, they blend and kind of surprise us with what they do. All right, there is our fish. We are going to set that aside to dry and work on our underwater scene. Okay, I'm gonna flip that over. I was just using that to protect the table. Okay, so we're gonna start out, we're gonna make a rock. So you're gonna take your brown, or if you don't have brown, you can use another color. I like this trick where sometimes we use our oil pastels like we're holding a pencil, and sometimes we can flip it on the side. So if you wanna peel away your paper, you can do that. So let's see, I'll start my rock right about here and just kind of wiggle it down. Doesn't really matter how it looks, it's just kind of all rocks are different. Now we're gonna take our oil pastel on the side, and we're just gonna color it in. Or if you wanna use it like that way, you can. You're the artist, it's up to you. You'll see it's different depending on if you press hard, press soft, the texture is a little bit different. All right, now, this is gonna be a coral reef, so we are going to take, I think I'll start with red. Coral comes in all sorts of beautiful, vibrant colors. And this actually, it's kind of like they look like little under the sea trees. And if a shark comes and this fish needs a place to hide, can swim and hide in the coral. It has lots of nooks and crannies. So let's see, a wiggly line, it's kind of like tree branches. You just kind of wiggle a line there, maybe a little one there. Just have fun with it. There we go. Lots of little wiggly lines. You decide when to stop. I think I want maybe one more there, one more there. Okay, now we'll go ahead and I think I'll use an orange. And the orange on the blue paper is a really nice contrast there. Nice and vibrant. Okay, just wiggle your lines however you want. Okay, I think I have room for one more there. I'll use pink. And remember to press hard with our oil pastels. That makes the color nice and vibrant and bright. Okay, one more purple one there, and I think we'll be done with our coral reef. Okay, now the fishies can play hide and seek in our coral reef. All right, let's move on to some seaweed right here. Now, since the water in the ocean is moving, we're going to make our seaweed lines nice and wiggly because that gives us the sense that they're moving in the water. We can do a combination of light green and dark green. Just make them wiggly. Let's see, and they can even cross over one another like that. Kind of dancing. Let's see, while I have my light green, I'll do another one there. And how about one more dark green? Sometimes you need to peel the paper away if it's not enough of it peeking out there. And I'll do some crisscross. All right, you can do more if you want. I think I'll stop there, and we'll add some little bulbs, or basically just like little circles coming off the seaweed. Add lots of little bulbs there, as many as you want. Okay, there we've got our seaweed. Now, the ocean has a current. That means the water is constantly flowing. So for me, I like to take an oil pastel, and to give the idea that the water is flowing and moving, we can do some swirls. So I'm going to start with white, and you can pick anywhere you want to put your swirls, and we're just going to do a little wiggly line, and then some circular shapes like that. There's one. Maybe I'll do another one. You can just go right over the seaweed. I'll do another one coming this way. Remember to press hard. Okay, now how about light blue? We could use light blue, dark blue. Let's see, I'll do one up here. Like that. And then one more dark blue, I think, up here. All right, now we get the sense that there's motion in the ocean. All right, our fish, he's ready to go swimming. So you decide where you want him to go. And this is the part where, if you have a hole punch, you can use a hole punch. If not, your teacher or an adult can help you make a hole using even scissors, but that's something you would want an adult to do. So right there, now we've got our brad. And again, if you don't have one of these, you can just choose a place and glue your fish right on the paper. But since we've got our little brad here, I'm gonna stick it through the hole. And this part, again, you want an adult or your teacher to help you with. You decide where you want your fish to be swimming. I think I want him right there, off to the side a little bit up top. And then poke a little hole right like that. This is sharp, so that's why an adult needs to help. And then you spread it apart like that. And now your fish can go swimming. But one more thing, right? He needs to see where he's going, so he needs an eye. I'm gonna use a little googly eye here. If you don't have one of these, you can just draw with your oil pastel. Just make an eye. And stick him right like that. And there you go. But you know what? Now that I see my fish in the water, I think I want one more swirl. So put one more swirl and then I think that'll be finished. All right, our Under the Sea project is all finished. Here we go. I hope you had fun. Bye.